Dear students, welcome back again to another session of our English classroom, Standard 9. Hope you are safe at your home, and it's very glad that you have attended the last class on 19th of October. We have launched the class of a live class of Standard 9 part 10. And we were dealing with a very interesting story of Mikali. Mikali, it's a very interesting character. He was a boy like you, and so you may please take your textbooks on page number. Where did we stop? Page number 57. Page number yes, 40. Sorry, 46. 46. Sorry, 46. 46. Where did we stop? Mikali saw that he was looking gentle down at and moving his lips as though to speak. Finally, the Chinaman said, "You mustn't cry, boy." Where we stopped? There we stopped. Have you seen in the textbook? Page number 46. Okay. Now let us look at the next paragraph. So what happened? You were asked to write the questions of question number 12, 13 and 14. Check your answers. I will tell you at first. What was question number 12? Why did he feel immensely alone and lost? എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് he feel immensely alone and lost? വളരെ പിന്നെ ഒറ്റക്കായവനെ പോലെ നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടവനെ പോലെയൊക്കെ അവൻ തോന്നാൻ കാരണം എന്താണ്? The answer is nobody could help him. That was the one of the reasons. And both the Armenians and Anatolians chased him away. They cannot help him. And at last he tried to get some infant milk from the neighbor camp, but there also he failed and he felt immensely lost. Okay. Now question number 12. Why did he sob? എന്താണ് അവൻ തേങ്ങിക്കരഞ്ഞത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്? Yes, Muhammad. Yes, who is that Muhammad? Your name is not there. Your password username is there, so I can't identify you, Muhammad. Anyway, why did he sob? Life seemed him horror. Why did he sob? Life seemed him horror. Almost the same. 12ാമത്തെ ഉത്തരം ഏകദേശം അതുപോലെ തന്നെയാണ്. എങ്കിലും we can modify your answer. Life seemed him horror. He even thought of stealing some food searching in the garbage, etc. So he sobbed. That is why he sobbed. എന്താ കരയാൻ കാരണം? Next, in what way is the Chinaman different from other refugees? Chinaman, what is the difference of other refugees? Almost all of you have written correct answer. Why? Because he was very kind and he was compassionate feeling, with a compassionate feeling. മറ്റുള്ളവരോട് അനുകമ്പയുള്ള ഒരു വ്യക്തിയായിരുന്നു. Okay, come back to we have to complete the remaining part of the story. Yeah, you are eagerly waiting for the story to be completed. Then timidly, you mustn't cry, boy. Page number 46. Then timidly, come with me. Mikhali's only answer was to shake his head negatively. No, shake his head negatively. He longed to flee. What is the meaning of long here? Long, as an adjective, it is what is a long? What is the meaning of long? A long stick, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ a long way എന്നൊക്കെ പറയാം. നമുക്ക് a long stick നീളമുള്ള എന്നർത്ഥം adjective ആകുമ്പോൾ. Here longed means wished. Longed means wished. So negative, he longed to flee. He had heard so many horrors about the cruelty of the Orientals. He wanted to flee from here, flee. So you may write the meanings if you don't know. Longed, wished, flee, run away. So he wished to run away from there. And he had heard so many horrors about the cruelty of the Orientals. Orientals means the people who are living in Eastern countries, especially Japanese people or China, something like that. So he wanted to flee from there. He wanted to flee because he had heard the stories of cruelties of Orientals. Yet the man remained there and did not budge. He did not move. Did not budge. So, being in great distress, Mikali followed him. That Chinaman did not move from here, but he stopped, he stayed there. He said, "Come with me." He remained there and did not budge, did not move. So, being in great distress, Mikali followed him. As he had nothing to do, he was in a very sorrowful condition. So, what did he do? Followed the Chinaman. And he thought, Mikali thought, what more awful thing could happen to him? What happened to him now? He was in a position that he cannot do anything. He tried a lot to give some infant milk to his baby brother, and he failed utterly, completely failed. He tried for a work, but the burden of the baby did not allow him to do the work. His neighbors, his fellow beings, that is Armenians and Anatolians. Armenians, he belongs to Armenia. Armenians cannot help him, and they tried to chase him. They asked them to run away from the camp, and even they thought about the death of the child. And then also Anatolians also chased him away. At last, a Chinaman came here for help, and thinking about the cruelties of Chinese and Japanese. So he had suffered a lot. Then he thought, ഇതിനേക്കാൾ what is more cruelty to come? ഇതിനേക്കാൾ വലിയ ക്രൂരത അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് ഇനി എന്താ വരാനുള്ളത്? He stood up. വന്നോർത്ത് വെച്ച് കാണാം. അതാണ്. Followed him. What more awful thing? ഇതിനേക്കാൾ ഭീകരമായി എന്ത് വരാനാ? Awful thing to come. That would come to happen to him. As they walked along, as they walked along, he stumbled. He fell, stumbled weakly because he was very weak, and almost fell with the child. Almost fell. Almost fell with the child. The child he was carrying on his back. The Chinaman came to him, and taking the baby in his arms and tenderly pressed to him. And he took the baby from him, from Mikali. The Chinaman came back and took the baby from him and softly pressed on his chest. They crossed several empty lands. There was empty places. They crossed empty lords, and then the man took a little lane. There was a small narrow passage, and he went into a small passage that led them to a sort of wooden cabin. And after the end of the narrow passage, there was a wooden cabin. A beautiful wooden cabin surrounded by a very small garden. So around that wooden cabin or wooden house, there was a small garden. He stopped before the door, and the Chinaman stopped before the door, and he clapped his hands twice. He clapped. So it was a signal to his belongings or his family members who are there inside the house. A few light steps. He could hear some steps are coming. Steps, somebody is coming inside, And a tiny person came to open the door. A tiny person, ഒരു ഉയരം കുറഞ്ഞ ഒരു സ്ത്രീ, came to open the door. Seeing the men, her face reddened, became red because of happiness, because her husband has come. And then happy smile lit up, and she smiled. She made a brief courtesy to them. ഒരു courtesy, something, ഒരു പ്രത്യേക തരത്തിലുള്ള ഒരു മര്യാദ, courtesy to them. As Mikhaili remained there, hesitatingly rooted to the threshold, the Chinaman said to him. Mikhaili remained there at the threshold. Threshold എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഉമ്മറപ്പടി. And there he stopped. He did not go inside because it was not his house. So he hesitated. ഒരു മടി, hesitatingly rooted means stopped. Rooted എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ വേരൂന്നി. That means he did not move there. At the threshold, the Chinaman said, "Come in." Chinaman said, "Come inside. Come in. Did not be afraid. Don't be afraid. It is my house. You come inside. This is my wife, and this is my wife." Mikhaili went into the room, rather large it seemed. പുറത്തുനിന്ന് നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ ഒരു ചെറിയ ക്യാബിൻ ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിലും it seemed to him a large, separated in the middle by colored paper screen. So there was a large room and it was separated with a curtain of paper curtain, paper screen. It was so clean and neat, very clean and neat, though very poor looking. സംഗതി വളരെ വലിയ പിന്നെ എന്താണ് ഫ്ലോറിങ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനത്തെ ഗ്രാനൈറ്റും അങ്ങനത്തെ സംവിധാനങ്ങളൊന്നും ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും ഉള്ളത് വളരെ ഭംഗിയായി. പുവർ ലുക്കിംഗ്, ദാരിദ്ര്യത്തിന്റെ ലുക്ക് അതിലുണ്ടെങ്കിലും ഇറ്റ് വാസ് വെരി ക്ലീൻ, very clear and clean. And very poor looking. The corner he noticed a wicker cradle. On the corner of the house he noticed, or he found a cradle of wicker. Cradle നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും കിടന്ന സ്ഥലമാണ്. Cradle means തൊട്ടിൽ. ഇവിടെ wicker means cane, ചൂരൽ കൊണ്ടുണ്ടാക്കിയത്. Wicker cradle. "That's my baby," said the young woman, cocking her head graciously to one side and smiling at him. She said, "It is my baby." The woman cocking her head, തല നെറ്റിപ്പിടിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. Graciously, thankfully, graciously to one side and smiling at him. "He is very tiny and very beautiful. Come and see. You please come and look, my baby. He is very beautiful. He is very beautiful. Come and see. You may please come and look." "That's my baby," said the young man. Okay, Mikhaili went up closer and silently admired it. Mikhaili went near the cradle and he looked very very silently he looked and silently admired എന്നാണ് ആരാധിച്ചു എന്നല്ല, നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാവില്ല കുട്ടിയെ കാണുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഒരു ആരാധന നമുക്ക് എന്നോട് തോന്നുമല്ലോ. That was a chubby baby. Chubby means chubby baby, അല്ല കൊഴുത്തുരുണ്ട, a chubby baby, but lately out of the darkness of the maternal body. That means lately എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ ഇവിടെ here very that means only 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 weeks before, ഈ അടുത്ത കാലത്ത്, that means very lately, out of the darkness of the maternal body, മാതൃ ശരീരത്തിൽ നിന്നും ഈ അടുത്ത കാലത്ത് പുറത്തു വന്ന, that was the meaning. Slept beautifully, peacefully. He was sleeping, that boy was sleeping there, covered with a golden brocade cloth. ഒരു സ്വർണ്ണ നൂലൊക്കെ ഉള്ള, സ്വർണ്ണ നൂലുകൊണ്ട് അലങ്കരിച്ച നൂലൊക്കെ ഉള്ള ഒരു കവർ, ഒരു ബ്ലാങ്കറ്റ്, സ്മോൾ ബ്ലാങ്കറ്റ്, like a little king. And that boy was sleeping like a little king. Then the husband called his wife over. Husband, Chinaman, called him. He told her to sit on the straw mat. There was a straw mat. വൈക്കോലൊക്കെ വിരിച്ച ഒരു straw mat ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. Without a word, he sat down on her lap. Without a word, he sat down on her lap, the little famished one. Without a word, ഒരു വാക്കും പറയാതെ, he sat down on her lap, the little famished one, bowing deeply before her. He put that baby on her lap. The woman leaned over with astonishment and drew back the covering of which the child was wrapped. So Chinaman was carrying, now the Chinaman was carrying that baby. Chinaman asked her to sit down on the mat, on that straw, what is called, there was a straw mat, straw mat. And she sat down and he put that baby on her lap. അവളുടെ മടിയിൽ വെച്ചു കൊടുത്തു. ആൻഡ് ദ വുമൻ ലീൻഡ് ഓവർ, ഒന്നിങ്ങനെ തല കുനിഞ്ഞു നോക്കി, ഓവർ ദ with astonishment, and drew back the cover in which the child was wrapped. And she drew back, she take back the cover of the baby, and it appeared to her in all its skeletonic horror. When she found this shape of the baby, she was also astonishment. It was so skeleton means അസ്ഥികൂടത്തിന്റെ രൂപത്തിലുള്ള ഇത്. And she gave a cry of immense pity. She also made a my God, what a shape എന്നൊരു ശബ്ദം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയെങ്കിലും then pressed the babe into her heart. തന്റെ മാറോട് ചേർത്ത് pressed her heart, giving it the breast, അതിന് മുലപ്പാൽ നൽകുകയും ചെയ്തു. Oh, so very. Then with a gesture of modesty, vinaya, modesty, with a gesture, she brought forward the flap of her robe over the milk swollen breast. What she should do? She brought forward the flap. Flap means a piece of material that hangs down. Flap of her robe. That means all her robe, avളുടെ വസ്ത്രം കൊണ്ട്, over the milk swollen breast at the people. Gluttonous infant sucking. That means she moved that, and she gave her the breast milk at the poor gluttonous infant sucking there. Gluttonous. Gluttonous എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആർത്തിയോടെ. That means, and that baby, just after its birth, and this baby was at first enjoying or drinking that milk at first. So gluttonous infant sucking the വലിച്ചു കുടിക്കുക, sucking that infant milk. So that is a beautiful ending of our story. And from this story we have found a lot of mothers, but a original mother we can see. ഒരു മാതൃത്വത്തിന്റെ വിലയറിയാവുന്ന ഒരു അമ്മയെ we can see in this chapter. And this is that China woman. Okay, so last class we have discussed question number 12, 13 and 14. And this class we have 2 more questions, and you should write the 2 questions and its answers, and you should send it to me before 6 o'clock today itself. Okay, don't forget to send me the answer. Okay, let us stop the class, and we have to deal some of the activities in the next class, and it will be tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So every day this class, for some time this class will be on live. So at that time you can listen to the class, and if you have any comments or any part which you cannot understand at the same time, you can give message to me. Just give a what is called a text message. You can send it to me, whether that part, which part you could not understand or something like that. Okay, thank you, have a nice day. We will see you tomorrow. Let us stop here now. We are stopping here now. Class will be half an hour, but today we have only 20 minutes because we have completed the portion. That is why we stopped early. And you have to what is called read the profile of Lilika Narcos, and you just read it and study more about her. Okay, good morning.